Is it
I just
real?
feel like they're creating a story. I don't think so.
Yeah,
They
and then-
don't show his face. It cuts
and
off
they
right
say
here.
and they say there's like all these patches that are right wing and all. I'm like, there's no
Yeah.
proof. I mean, they're just saying it. It's
Well, they were trying
I
to
don't
say
know.
that the tattoo on his hand was some sort of like either MS-13 tattoo or Tango
yeah.
Blast or some like gang tattoo. And then everyone that's from Dallas is like, dude, that's a freaking
That's a
Dallas logo triple D tattoo.
Welcome back to another episode of Stay Oriented Podcast. We have not been posting regularly lately. Yeah, but we're back. Yeah, me and my brother, Carrie.
Yeah. Здравствуйте, товарищи. Yeah, I was been dealing with some personal matters for a while, but I'm back now. Everything's all good.
Nice. Actually, I think I have another episode that I haven't edited yet, but I just got so busy with.
Are you sure?
I think so. Well, maybe I'm
I thought
tripping.
the last one we shot. I think the last one we shot was when I was in Cali.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind then.
Yeah.
Okay, then that was the last one. But yeah, we haven't posted in a while, and we haven't. I haven't even been keeping up with the news. Actually, doing the podcast makes me keep up with the news more.
Yeah.
And without the
here.
podcast, I'm just kind of like I'm shut out from the world. I'm like being dad, you know. I'm just like focused more on family now. But yeah, and you know what? It's ironic that I don't know if it's ironic. I think it's just like we started this podcast
Coincidence.
coincidentally, yeah. We started this podcast on the day of the Monterey Park shooting, and that was really close to home for me because I'm in California, and I live just a few miles away from Monterey Park in Alhambra, and that's where all the violence took place. And so when we're recording the first episode, it was just so like eerie to like think about like places I've been to that are now like the site the site of a mass shooting. Then, as we know now, there was another mass shooting, this time in Carrie's backyard, which is my ex-hometown of Dallas, and more specifically, Allen, Texas.
Yeah, Allen, Texas. And we used to go to that mall all the time.
Yeah,
we lived in Plano, which is like the next city over, like a couple exits down the highway.
Yeah, but we were like in like North Plano, like far east, northeast Plano, like right on the border of Allen. Like, we're so close.
We could walk to Allen. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like just hearing Allen in the news just feels like it's the same thing as seeing Plano in the news for me. And
pretty much.
Yeah, we used to go to that outlet store all the time because at least for me, I was really into Puma back then. And they had an outlet store for Puma
store there, and I liked Adidas a lot, and that's where the nearest Adidas store was, and they're still there, which is cool. Lot of more stores now too. Like it's crazy insane. I was there. I don't know, within the past year at least. Not that recently, but
yeah, I actually
changed a lot.
I didn't recognize the mall actually because I was like, when did they get an H&M? Which is where the shooting took place. I was like
I don't even know when they got an H&M. They have a lot of stuff now. They have a Fat Burger now. I remember when
I don't think there was.
LA, I'm like, oh nice, they got Fat Burger. I mean, well, Fat Burger's from California, but I was like, man, I can't wait till Texas has one. And now they have one there. It's actually where the shooter got killed by the police. Was
right outside the window. Yeah, I saw the video footage. Yeah, and actually now you can't get Fat Burger because the whole place is shut down for who knows when. Because
a while, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's a scene of a crime, and obviously we're mourning too, grieving. So there's a process for that. There's a process for the actual investigation. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen to the Allen outlet malls. It's one of those things where like when something bad happens, it kind of taints a place or taints a thing, and that thing will never be the same ever. It just won't be the same ever again.
I was at a restaurant yesterday and they just had the news on the TV and it basically talked about the whole thing nonstop. So I know there's like a giant memorial for all the victims there.
Yeah.
You know,
I want to go
God
visit
bless
it.
them and their families. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you come in town soon, we should. Yeah, I don't want to be near there right now, just cause I don't know. It's probably like cameras there nonstop, and just
Yeah, it's just news people
yeah,
and
yeah. It's probably
yeah.
most of the locals visiting there right now. I know, like, yeah, the TV stations were out there just getting footage, and people in the neighborhood and the community,
Yeah.
mourning the loss of all those people. It's pretty insane. And luckily, I was not near there whatsoever. I was down near like Austin, Texas, when it happened. Our security guy at Saucera, he like texted me. He was like, "There's a shooting in Allen right now. Like, there's like 6 confirmed dead at the time."
Dang.
And yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was trying to like buy some wine or something at some bar.
You're like,
And
I'm
I
trying
was
to
like,
get
holy crap.
I'm trying to get lit tonight.
Yeah, well, we were about to drive back, and we were just making a stop at some cool little town, and yeah, I heard the news, and I was like, "What the heck? This is weird." And then I, Google it, and I'm just like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
That's
it's not
insane.
like your typical shooting either. I mean, not to say like this is like any worse than other shootings, but it's the kind of shootings that it the fact that the guy was tactical, like he came in with the tactical
Yeah.
gear and like AR
Mhm.
AR, we call it that gun, AR-15, and
Mhm.
like he's just like
He had like body armor on too.
yeah, he was
Body
there. He
armor
was
with
there
like a
to do
bunch of
damage.
magazines.
Yeah, exactly. He was there to do damage. It wasn't like some random guy, with the gun and like street clothes going. Even like I think the
It
El
reminds
Paso
me
shooter.
of the one. Well, I
Mhm.
think the El Paso shooter one was like that.
Did he? But did
You know
he have
what's
tactical
actually
gear?
really?
I thought he was just like a street
I
clothes,
think
but
so.
he had a crazy gun. He had the AR-15.
He did have an AR, but I think he also had body armor too.
Really? You know what's ironic is
Yeah.
that guy from
And
El
what's
Paso.
crazy? That guy's from
Yeah.
Allen.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah.
what's up with people? What's up with Allen all of a sudden? Allen's like this like really small suburbia town. It's like nice, very kind of
Pretty
affluent,
wealthy,
Yeah, very affluent, and I don't know, it's just weird
It's
that
like your regular typical suburb, but yeah, it's just crazy because just you're just going shopping one day and then some crazy killer comes by.
yeah, I hope, I don't know. If that happened to me, I hope that I didn't know it was happening. Just shoot me first. Shoot me in the head. Like, so I don't even know what happened. The terror
Yeah,
of
yeah.
knowing that it was happening and then scrambling and then getting shot. That I play that scenario in my head a lot. I'm like, because you hear all these, like that and a plane crash. Like I always play the scenario of
Plane
Of,
crash
like,
is one that's I think even worse, just because you're even less in control. Because if you're in a shooting situation, you have a chance.
you could run away.
I mean, of course, given
possibly.
like how close are you to the shooter? Is he coming after you specifically? But outside of that, like you have
Or
a
you can
chance
take
to run
out the
away
shooter.
and hide.
If you're
That
strapped
too,
yourself,
but when
you
you're
take,
if you're trained up enough, because in that situation you have so much adrenaline going, you probably don't know what you're doing,
yeah.
honestly.
Obviously, this would only
But,
happen in Texas because no one in California would be typically strapped unless you're like a
Yeah,
gangsta.
yeah, where you're like out in the middle of nowhere, California, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's true.
But yeah, but if you're in a plane crash situation, there's literally nothing you can do.
You could take
I don't
control
think,
by
right?
going to the cockpit and taking control of the plane. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're pretty much in the hands of the pilot, whatever the pilot's
Yeah,
doing.
we watched watched that documentary of that Malaysian
Oh yeah,
plane that
it's a new
went
documentary,
missing.
right?
MH something or whatever the flight
It's the
number is.
worst name for a documentary because you can't remember the flight name, which means you can't remember the name of the documentary.
Well, luckily it's always something you can Google. It's like, yeah,
True,
that
true,
one
true,
Malaysian plane that went missing. You just Google it; it's all over everywhere. But yeah, just imagine like being those people. Like literally, there was nothing they could do. You know, you're in the plane's hands, and that thing, if it's crashing, it's crashing.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but what's crazy about this?
The terror of that.
Yeah. But what's crazy about this shooting is that it's like it's not your typical white supremacist guy that all the news outlets like to point to, but it's a Hispanic guy that they're saying that was interested in white supremacy and was a Nazi apparently.
Yeah, it was really slow the information was slow to roll out. Like there was no information on the shooter for a long time, and I remember reading on Twitter, it was like everyone's like, oh yeah, it's some right wing guy or whatever, and they saw like, like the dead body, but like, it's like you see the body of the shooter, like he's not a white guy, he's clearly ethnic, and I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like there was a very they tried to paint it to be one thing, one way, and it kind of went against their narrative, I think. I don't know. That's how I feel. It's like it had like anytime there's a
narrative, because I saw
anytime there's a shooter, like it has to be some like right wing guy. It has to be like some crazed right wing guy, and I'm sure there's a lot of crazed right wing guys.
Right wing guy, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's plenty of those guys too, but they label it that right off the bat, and it's just like
I saw screenshots of like news headlines like when the shooting first happened, and they kept mentioning like a right wing supremacist person or something like that, and then I see the picture of the guy later. I'm like, I don't know, he doesn't really look like what they're describing, So
yeah, like maybe this is the different
now
shooting.
I feel like they're trying to now there's like an article, and I feel like they're just trying to cover their tracks, saying that he was like a right-wing white supremacist that's a Mexican guy or something.
Yeah, I read something like that too. There's that article, it was basically saying like so the guy's name is Mauricio Garcia, and
Mauricio Martinez Garcia or something.
Oh, I don't
like
know
a middle name too. They mentioned.
Yeah, but basically, they're painting him out to be some sort of robot kind of guy. Like he every day he has the same routine. Like his neighbors, like, oh yeah, he's just like clockwork, in out to work, back home. Like, but no social life. They never see him socialize. They say it's hard to talk to him, whatever. And then on his social media, they say that this guy was really into right wing type stuff. He was a Hitler admirer, and he was also ashamed of his Hispanic heritage, and so then this article goes into detail about how that it's becoming more and more common for people of color, ethnic people, to join up with white supremacist right wing crazy groups, because it's become more common for people of color to be ashamed of their heritage, which I can understand. I can understand that point to a degree.
Yeah, me too.
But there's a lot of
I do, because I identify myself as American. Not to say I'm ashamed of like our culture, but like I'm Americanized, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know about minorities joining up with white supremacists being like a more
because I mean, even if I was like, I hated being Chinese, I was completely ashamed of it, and I was really into a certain ideology that was, say, against the left. I was more right wing. From from the policies and whatever the right stands for. Right. Even then, joining an extreme right wing, a violent right wing group as a minority, no matter how right wing I am, I don't know. I'm just like, the moment I step in there, I would just feel unsafe. I would just feel unsafe.
You could
You know, like,
still, well, that, and you could still live a normal life without being violent too.
true,
You
true.
know what I mean? So it's just like, to me, it speaks more about mental health than just
Yeah,
some guy joining a right wing group.
that's
You
true.
know,
That's
because
true.
it's literally suicide. The moment you decide to shoot up a bunch of people in a public setting, that you know you're dead. You're not getting out of there alive.
Yeah, yeah,
You
that's
know,
true. That's true.
it's one
Oh,
thing going
there was
around
there was a
trying to.
shooter that lived to tell the tale. Was it the El Paso one? He actually didn't die, right?
No. Oh yeah, you're right. Because I think he surrendered. That's the thing.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
can surrender yourself to the police and you won't die, but obviously you're gonna get probably, well, depending where you are, you're gonna get death row
Life.
or life in
Yeah.
sentence. Charleston, the South Carolina shooter,
No,
the
man,
one
there's
where they
so many
got Burger
shooters
King
now.
for
I
him.
don't.
Yeah,
Wait, they got Burger King for a shooter? Wait, what?
yeah, because I think they want to get they want to get them to like talk and stuff, you know, so they get them
Okay.
food. I don't know. I don't know. But Dylan Roof, that's his name. Yeah, he was
Okay.
crazy. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, so you're either gonna go to prison and get life or death row, or you're gonna die there. You know, so it's
Yeah.
like, to me, it's definitely like more of a mental health thing than just being racist.
Yeah.
Because there's
Basically,
plenty of
it's
racists out there
people.
that's not gonna go kill people.
Yeah, like this. Basically, it's people that are for whatever reasons in their
They're
life
fringe on the fringe.
their backs are against the ropes and they're just like, there's no way out and I have to do this, you know. And I'm just like, what does it take to get a
Did
person
you
to
really
get to that
have to do
space?
that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I obviously I can't relate. I'm sure most people can't relate. You know, I've been pushed to
Hmm.
the limits in terms of, you know, my own social well-being or whatever. You know, I've been pissed, I've been upset, depressed, you know, but a mass shooting has never been the idea or a thought of mine that ever floated, you know. Even the idea of killing myself has floated once before, you know, and like it just kind of floats
I
in
think
there.
that's
It's just kind
floated
of
in
like,
everyone's mind, but then you're
yeah,
like, I can't do
exactly.
this either. You know?
Yeah. Like I'm not going to be able
Yeah.
to be around to see other people mourn me. It's like this super selfish thought, you know, it's like to kill yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then to unleash that same termination, the you know, same pain and violence on random people that are, you know, have nothing to do with you, have nothing to do with your
Innocent
problems.
random people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's crazy.
Yeah. So definitely
Crazy.
they're gonna start pushing for, more gun control. For sure. They're
Yeah,
definitely
as a
talking about
gun
that
owner,
already. But
how's that feel for you?
I'd say I got enough guns right now, so I'm okay. It sucks though.
Well,
I
yeah, I can't
mean,
get any more
it is
though.
a terrible situation. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
to me, Texas. I mean, Texas is one of those big battleground states. You know, so
Yeah. Is it a
I,
swing
I
state
definitely
now? Is that
think
what you call it?
it's getting. I think it's getting close to being a swing state. It's not there
Mm.
yet, but it's definitely. I mean, gotta think about it. Texas is the largest red state. So like in the electoral votes or whatever. I don't really know that stuff too well, but it definitely holds a lot of influence over um, voting stuff in the US.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a big state. Texas is a big state. We're right behind Cali in population size.
Mm.
Um, and well, a lot of people are moving here too.
Yeah, a
But
lot of Cali people are moving to get to Texas.
yeah, I think it's still going pretty steady. I don't know, because we dabble in real estate, and the market's kind of suffering in a lot of places. But from what I hear, Texas, specifically DFW, is still holding pretty strong. So it seems like a lot of people are still moving here. I mean, they're building
Yeah.
apartments left and right, new neighborhoods. I don't know. Yeah, it's getting
Damn,
pretty crowded here.
makes me wanna move there now, get in early. Man, my hair hey, hold on. There we go.
You look like a little 12-year-old kid.
Yeah, I felt
There
it
you go.
tickling my forehead, and it got annoying. Okay. Uh,
Yeah, but on
yeah,
the
it makes me
contrary,
want
though,
to.
you know, they're gonna start trying to. Go ahead. I think there's a little lag.
Oh man, there's a huge lag. I waited like a long
Yeah,
time.
I hear your headphones a little bit.
Oh dang.
Is there
Okay.
still a lag?
I think so.
Okay, I think it's just for you then. But go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say I really do want to get into Texas before the prices jump up too crazy, because the
I
idea
don't
of
think it'll
moving
jump
back
up real
home
crazy.
is
I think
nice.
it's going to correct itself. It's not going to suffer terribly like I hear about other markets, but I don't think it's going to jump up because I think the interest rates right now are too high. So
Oh,
I
okay.
think the interest rates, because the interest rates are going to be are going to stay high, the prices are going to either level out or drop a little bit. It's not going to crash here from what I hear, but I don't think it's going to jump up any higher than it is because of interest rates.
I see. And at the end of the day, it's still Texas. Is not California. Like we're not going to be seeing California prices in Texas anytime soon.
No, we don't have we don't have beaches and mountains and crazy geographical things that
You don't have
automatically
Disneyland.
drive up prices.
You don't have
Hey, you know, we're getting Universal Studios or
what
some
in
sort of
Dallas?
Universal Studios. You didn't know about
No,
that? In Frisco.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, very
They're
nice.
doing some sort of theme park
like
out
a
there.
real theme
They're
park.
doing that.
A real theme park. A real one. Like Six Flags theme park, or or is it like some sort of like like small like subsidiary type style?
See, that's what I'm trying to find out. It's owned by Universal Studios, but I don't know what it is. I just know
Or
it's
is it
owned by
just
Universal.
yeah, or is it like a City Walk? Like, are they just
No.
building a
It's
City
gonna
Walk
be a theme
or
park. It's
an
a
actual
theme park.
Yeah, that's cool. So we're getting Harry
I
Potter.
sent you an article.
I say it like we like
I
I live in
don't-
Texas.
I don't
getting
know
Harry
to
Potter?
what degree this is. I don't know what degree it is. It's a kiddie theme park, so I don't know how that's gonna compare to the other Universals. Let's see. Yeah, so Frisco's Planning and Zoning Commission on Tuesday, this was like a month ago, approved the special use permit for the Universal theme park on 97 acres of land at the northeast corner of Dallas North Tollway and Panther Creek Parkway. The approval package grants $12.7 million in performance-based economic incentives based on sales tax revenue collected from the new park. Okay, so
What?
let's see. Frisco unveiled
I'm gonna
some new plans for the proposed park.
I gotta send this to my
So
family.
it's going to be designed
because-
for children 3 to 11. So it's not going to be
3 to
as
11?
cool as, you know.
Okay, so
I
it's
know,
not it's
right.
not
I was
real. It's
hoping-
not a real theme park.
Yeah, it doesn't
They
sound
don't have
like
the
it.
roller coasters.
Let's see.
But
It
hey,
did
that's
note
still
that none
cool,
of
though.
none of the rides would require the standard 48 inches or higher rule, and would not be constructed higher than 100 feet. That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy that. But there's gonna be a hotel there, bunch of parking spaces, of course.
Maybe they'll grow to be the full size thing.
Well,
'Cause,
I
like,
don't
yeah,
know
like,
because
outside of
apparently right next to it though, I
Uh-huh.
think PGA, the golfing associate or the golfing
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
PGA,
yeah.
they're opening up their own golf course like right next to Universal, and it's gonna be a whole development and stuff. So
All in Frisco?
I gotta say, yeah, I gotta say it probably sucks to live in Frisco.
Frisco's popping. Frisco's kind of like
Yeah, a lot of people are kind of complaining about all of that stuff.
it's a
'cause
bigger
gonna be
major
a lot of
city than
traffic.
Dallas. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's becoming the major city in the DFW area, and it's not even DFW. It's a suburb.
What is DFW?
Dallas Fort
Well,
Worth.
DFW is the whole.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, when
yeah,
I say
yeah, it
when
is.
I said DFW, I meant like actual Dallas and actual Fort Worth. Like they're not.
Oh yeah,
they're not
yeah.
the main attraction. It's Frisco. Frisco's the main attraction here.
Well, I think DFW's just gotten big enough to where, you know, different quadrants of the Metroplex have its own thing going on for them. You know.
True.
So if you want to go clubbing, if you want to, do certain things, like Dallas is still the place to go. Fort Worth is still a certain place to go for, like the rodeo and
Yeah, Fort Worth is like where all the
whatever Fort Worth has.
the cowboy stuff is at.
Yes,
Dallas
yeah,
is where
Cowtown. Like literally, their logo is like a longhorn.
Yeah.
Then Dallas is where all the I don't know, like the snobby people are.
Yeah. Did you or are you aware as a Dallas person? Are you aware that none of the rest of Texas views Dallas as part of Texas in terms
It's
of
funny.
like
A lot
the
of people
reputation?
don't view Austin as as a part of Texas.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. It's
Yeah,
it's changed a
Dallas,
lot.
yeah, Dallas is a very corporate metroplex, and it's very corporate. Yeah, very corporate place.
What makes it different?
I think people it's all new money. So like Houston's like old oil money, and I don't know. I've hung out in Houston a few times, and I have to say that just based on talking to bartenders and just people there, they feel a lot more down to earth than Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Dallas is like
so
very
they don't got the Southern
Dallas is very,
hospitality in Dallas.
I mean, there still is, but I don't know. What's the word I'm thinking of? It's very like I don't know, snobby. What's another word?
Okay, yeah. I mean that's literally what people say. I mean, like I've watched a few movies.
I agree.
About Texas,
Really?
like literally Hollywood movies, and like the jokes within the movie when they talk about Texas. One of them is the Jack Black movie called something Bernie. I forget, but like he breaks down like Texas in the scene, and his character's
Really?
from Texas, and he basically talks about how like Dallas is full of snobs, and like no one likes Dallas. Like no the Texans, as a Texan, you don't view Dallas as part of Texas because they don't have the Southern hospitality.
Yeah, it's funny. I've read some like Reddit pages where they compare all the major cities in Texas, and yeah, the consensus seems like everybody kind of likes all the other cities except for Dallas.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah,
I think Dallas doesn't really have like a like culture. I don't know. People in Dallas might hate me now, but
There's no
they don't
culture.
have. Yeah, Dallas is just wanting to be like a big city. You know what I mean? I think
Oh,
they
yeah,
take
so you're
things
saying,
from
like-
LA and New York, and they're just trying to be like, I don't know, some cool big city versus I think the other cities kind of just lean into their own historical culture more, I guess.
Okay, so basically, how Mark Cuban runs the Dallas Mavericks is pretty much how Dallas is. It's kind of like they like, we got to be a big market. We got to get a second basketball star. You got to get a second star next to Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, Dallas
we
is
got to
definitely
get number
trying to be
two.
like a big market. Yeah, I mean Houston in population is bigger than Dallas, but I know like the DFW as a hub, I think is the largest in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fort Worth is really cool. I like Fort Worth.
Yeah. Would you ever move to
We've
Fort
been,
Worth?
we have. I don't know about move to Fort Worth. I kind of like. I think I'm a little too attached to where we live. So I don't know about moving to Fort Worth, but we do have a property in Fort Worth, a rental property, and we've been spending time in Fort Worth, and it's really cool there. It's like a Western hipster city.
I think I would really.
Yeah, it's
like
actually
that.
really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the conservative version of Austin, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like it's kind of kooky in a Western way, you know. Austin has like the little hippie vibe, and then the hippie hipster vibe, and Fort Worth is like a hipster cowboy vibe. At least I feel like that's the direction it's heading.
Yeah. I never spent time in Fort Worth. Like
It's
my
cool.
only
Yeah,
memories.
I like
My
it.
only memories of Fort Worth is visiting your cousin, which isn't exactly visiting Fort Worth.
Yeah,
And then the only
they
other
live like
memory.
They live like in the suburb of Fort Worth, like kind of the outskirts of Fort Worth. But if you're like in the center of Fort Worth, like where our rental property is, it's close to the center, like where all the bars are, and just all the stuff like the geographically Fort Worth is pretty interesting. There's a lot more hills and stuff than Dallas has, and they also built their city around the Trinity River. So like the river that runs through the city, it's like a nice park and trail you can go around, and it surrounds downtown.
It's an actual thing.
And in Dallas, yeah, in Dallas, the Trinity River is like, I don't know, where people dump bodies or something, or it's just like a floodplain or something. Like it's not.
Yeah.
They didn't utilize it to make it like a beautiful thing. I think they're trying to do that now, but I don't know. It's
They're like, oh, we gotta dig
not
out these
there.
bodies first, though. Shit.
yeah. I don't. I'm kidding about the bodies. I think I don't know. Maybe there are. I don't know. But they didn't. It's like so close to downtown, but they never built around it to make it like an attraction. You know what I mean? It's just like this river that runs through as like a sewage dump or floodplain or something. And like all the money in Dallas really like stays like in Highland Park, and then it just kind of goes north to all the suburbs. But they're kind of like gentrifying. They're like gentrifying Dallas now, so it is getting expensive there because it's not really known for having like the nicest neighborhood. I mean, does have the nicest neighborhoods, but then it also has like the least nicest neighborhoods too. You know.
Yeah, that's true. How's Oak Cliff? Because like I know growing up, like Oak Cliff was like the gangster neighborhood.
I don't
like
go to Oak Cliff
you
because
know?
it's just a little too far. From what I hear, Oak Cliff is still Oak Cliff. The only part that's
so
not
it's still,
really Oak
it's still
Cliff
pretty
is,
hood.
well, so the only part, from my understanding, that's not hood is Bishop Arts, which is specifically a neighborhood within Oak Cliff, that is like all gentrified now. And there's actually like a lot of nice houses around there.
Oh, okay.
It has a lot of history. There's like a few neighborhoods where they have like those old craftsman homes, like really old houses that are built very grand, like grandeur.
Yeah.
Really fancy. But yeah, Bishop Arts is where like all the little like hipster shops and restaurants and bars are. And then I don't know. From what I hear, a lot of people still claim Oak Cliff as the hood. So
I see.
yeah, it's just not my part of town.
I see. Because I remember y'all used to source your coffee beans there for
Oak Cliff
for Cafe
Roasters.
Salsero?
Roasters, yeah.
Yeah.
That's they're in the nice
there?
part of. No, we don't. We definitely don't focus on the having very local artisanal coffee anymore. We specialize in Cuban coffee, so we just buy a brand of that.
I see. Yeah,
But
true.
yeah, like the furthest south I go really in Dallas is Deep Ellum. That's already kind of far from where we live, so yeah. So lately it's just Deep Ellum, Plano, or Fort Worth. I like Fort Worth. You have to come check it out.
I gotta check it out. Yeah, I think we're planning a night where all of us go to the new property and we're gonna spend a night there.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah. It's close to all the action, so
yeah,
it's nice.
So we're gonna go out and drink then? Is that what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're trying to open up another location for Salsera over in Fort Worth, so we'll do a little bit of R&D.
There we go. Yeah, I gotta check out the scene out there because I can't pinpoint the what you say, the Western, hipster kind of vibe. I'm like, what is that? What does that entail? So I gotta check it out for myself.
Well, I don't know. We haven't spent too much time hanging out there. It's definitely no Dallas. Like Dallas is definitely a much bigger city as far as like how densely populated it is.
Yeah.
Like Fort Worth is still big. But yeah, like more clubs are in Dallas and stuff like that. It's growing in Fort Worth, not as busy as Dallas. But there's still like a lot of stuff to do, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But is it like, you think it's like who's who like it's up for grabs basically right now? Like Fort Worth? Like in terms of its growth and like commerce and all that stuff, or is it like it's pretty established, it has an identity, and you go in there and you got to get with their energy, or is it like up for grabs in terms of like it's trying to like grow into what Dallas is, or like just like a bigger entity?
I don't think they want to be like Dallas. It's funny.
Oh,
I
okay,
just
got it.
we were in Fort Worth the other day, and we were at some bar. We were waiting to get sushi. It was like we went to this like one of those like hand roll places, and they're always busy. Like there's no tables. Like you just sit around the sushi bar kind of
Yeah.
place. So you just have to wait for a table, and we were like waiting at a bar next door just to grab a drink. And as we were leaving, some guy was saying like, "Oh yeah, people in Fort Worth are so nice," and uh, they were saying that people in Dallas weren't, or something like that. So it was pretty funny. Even within DFW, people make that same joke that you were talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everyone just stuck
Yeah.
up in
So I
Dallas.
know.
That's
Yeah.
funny. You know
Yeah.
what though? You know what?
Mhm.
I find people in Dallas very nice compared to say LA. Or I find people in Dallas way more
Probably. Yeah.
nicer. Or like even in Orlando, I was just like, because I lived in Orlando for a little bit, and I always felt like Dallas has just got the nicest people because it's Texas.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about Dallas. I don't know. Maybe just because like I have to work in Dallas and deal with a bunch of assholes all the
True,
time.
because
So I'm
you're
just like,
you're
oh.
thrusted into the scene where you do see the worst in people come out, huh?
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe I don't know if it's just like a big city thing, but people in the big city always think they're the best there, I guess.
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
I think people from big cities definitely have there's an elitism to
Yeah.
their existence, like they think they're in the mecca. I mean, they are in the mecca of existence if you're in a big city.
Of
Like
that.
everything
Yeah, that
comes to
place.
you. You know, you have access to everything, and you know that definitely, you know, it's like it gets to your head. And you build an ego around it. You
Yeah.
build like this like, oh, I have everything, and then you kind of look down upon people. I mean, it maybe I think it's also conscious too. I'm not saying people in cities are mean and like they look down upon people, but I think there's a subconscious like thing of like, oh yeah, I you know, it's like it's kind of like when you're talking to you know, foreigners, like, oh, do you have this in your country? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? You know, it's like when you're talking when you're a
Hmm.
big city person, you're talking to someone from a smaller town. You're kind of like, do you guys have McDonald's, or like is it more like, you know, just mom and pop burger places? Like, do you have a Starbucks? Do you know what a Starbucks is? You know, I feel like that's kind of like it's like a subconscious like watered down version of that type of attitude, but I think it's in all
Hmm.
city people. We all have that.
Yeah, probably. But it's changed a lot since you left, I would say.
Yeah, I don't
But
recognize it. I definitely don't recognize it anymore. Even like the area that we grew up in, and just driving around there.
oh
I'm
dude,
like,
I don't even recognize it, man. When we went to church, our neighbor invited us out for Easter church or church and for Easter. And it's actually like right behind where remember that Garden Ridge Mall that used to be there?
Garden Ridge Mall. Oh yeah, there's Malaysian food in there
Like
before.
there's
Right?
Malaysian food there.
Yeah, I think
I don't know
I
about
think
that.
the
Do you
only
know where that
reason why
Panda
we ever
Express
went.
press is?
I don't know where Penn Express. I don't think there was a Penn Express there. I know where Garden Ridge is though.
Okay.
There was
Well,
no
their
Penn
churches
Express.
the church took over some like warehouse behind there, and
Okay.
I don't know. The map kind of took us the wrong way, and I just ended up like into a neighborhood, and I was like, holy crap, there's like a whole neighborhood here now, and it used to just be nothing there.
Yeah.
So it's changed a lot there too, kind of. Maybe even more
Dang.
so because you haven't been there for longer.
Yeah, like I remember thinking there's a taco place around there. Taco Cabanas. Taco.
Oh,
And I remember.
yeah. Yeah, that's where that
Yeah, I
Panda
remember.
Express is.
Oh, they took over that place.
No, it's like a whole shopping center thing, like a little.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
anyways, I remember thinking, oh, that's new. But I think when I said that, when thinking that it was new, I think that was like a good 10 years ago now, or like 15 years ago now.
Probably like
I've
15,
been away
yeah.
for so long. Yeah, I've been away for so long.
For sure, it's getting hot now.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I sent the Universal thing to Tiff and Isaac. We have a group chat, so I sent it to them because, like, you know,
okay.
one of the you know, we've been wanting to move to Dallas, there's this idea that floats around a lot, and since you guys are opening a second location for the club, like you guys have kind of been saying like, oh, we could use the help. We could have me and Tiff there to kind of just help, like just keep it within the family and make money basically. And so the idea of going to Dallas has floated around, but then one of the main reasons why we haven't is Isaac isn't convinced that he wants to spend his high school years in Dallas, which I totally get. It's that elitism we just finished talking about, and it's like, what does Dallas have to offer me that is going to be better than LA? And it's like, well, nothing.
I don't know. Yeah.
Nothing. Like LA, you can't hold a candle to LA. The only other cities that you're going to be able to compare LA to is like New York.
Yeah, but that's a whole different lifestyle there.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But I think there's like clout, being from LA at all. There's like a clout.
Being from like the bigger city.
Yeah. So you do feel like you're downgrading when you go to a lesser known city that doesn't have theme parks, doesn't have beaches, doesn't have mountains. So, but the theme park.
I have a
thing
friend
is
that's
huge.
from yeah, for sure. Like I have a friend from New Jersey, New York, and he moved over here for work, and he's kind of the opposite. I mean, given he's an adult, but he's like, man, I love Texas. Like I can actually pay rent here.
Have a life. Yeah.
It's so expensive in those big cities. But I don't know. I mean, I understand Isaac's point of view. I mean, he's a teenager. He has his friends. Who wants to leave their friends? Like I'm not in that same. I wasn't in that same position. Like I didn't have an opportunity to move to another state or anything. So I don't know what that's like.
I never until I moved to college, but I never moved during regular school. Yeah, like regular school, like never. So I wouldn't know. It wouldn't be. Oh, actually, no, I did. Never mind. We moved from Garland to Plano.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
for me, I was too young. I was like,
yeah.
I was like I was going to kindergarten, so I didn't even get to know anybody yet.
You weren't leaving behind.
Let alone being like a 5-year-old.
Yeah, I was. It wasn't that big of a deal for me either. But granted, I was only, moved. I was going like into 6th grade, 10. So I hadn't developed a core group of friends that I was like super tight. Because then once you get older, you start hanging out with those friends.
You have your little clique. Yeah.
Yeah, you have your clique. Yeah, when you're young, you're still kind of like everybody's my friend. And so
I get to make new friends.
I can make new friends. Okay. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess moving into high school is really rough, and plus you get the hormones. Like you're going through puberty and all, and so the hormones probably making you feel more anxious than you ought to be, and you're more prone to be angry, sad, all sorts of crazy emotions. So I get it.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, Texas, the Dallas area is a great place for people to move to. So it's not like you're moving to like, I don't know, like a small town, I
think mainly I just want a bigger house. It's so cramped here. I go to your house and I'm like, man, it's so spacious. And having a backyard, a front yard.
Yeah, my house isn't even that big.
But your house is like already like way bigger than ours. Like it just breathes.
Yeah, actually, I don't. Footage-wise, it is bigger, but it's like I think it's like same amount of bedrooms. I think I have one less bathroom than you, but my square footage is bigger. So just like each room is like the living. I have an actual living room, and then like my kitchen, dining areas.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, and you actually have like an area that we would call a family room too. Because like that's one thing we noticed too, like because the last time we went to Dallas, or maybe 2 times ago, me and Tiff did go look at some homes in Dallas, just like just to see what we like about Dallas in terms of the home. Like Tiff hasn't really actually seen properties in Dallas like that. She's only seen y'all's homes, right? And so. For her to kind of walk into an empty house, just to kind of get her bearings and stuff.
Just to feel it out.
Yeah, one thing we were like we don't have in our current house. Well, actually, we barely even have a living room, but like there's no such thing as a family room. You know, like and walking into all those homes in Texas, it's like you walk in, there's like a you have two living rooms basically. You know, right? You have the one that's
Oh
closer to
yeah,
the
yeah,
front
yeah. I
door,
mean,
and then you have one that's further
I
in
don't
where
really
you
have that
actually
either.
you kind of do where you have your couch by the front door. I mean, that's
Yeah.
I mean, it's not for eating
I
there.
think
You know,
I think
it's not exactly the
so.
kitchen.
I think that was the dining room before. So my house is an older home built in like I think 1969 or something like that. And whoever lived in it previously, they remodeled the crap out of it. Like they knocked down walls, or at least in the kitchen. I'm pretty sure it used to be one of
Yeah, it's
those like
open.
galley kitchens,
Yeah.
open concept with an island now. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it's now
sure
an
where
open concept.
the
Yes.
yeah. So I think where that couch is now used to be the formal dining area, is what
Oh,
I
I
think.
see. I see. Okay.
But because they opened everything up, they kind of just rearranged some stuff around.
I see. I see. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. But I have like those old starter homes.
Yeah.
But
Hey, it's got good bones.
I kind of
as
like
they
it
say.
more. It does. It does. Like personally, I hate those like HOA neighborhood type of neighborhoods.
Like this one right here, the one I'm sitting in right now.
Yeah, I mean, your little community is nice. I like it. But yeah, I don't know. Like I guess
It
'cause
is
we grew up in
HOA.
one of those.
Oh,
Yeah, but
true,
we
true,
grew up in
true.
one of
Yeah.
those kind of neighborhoods, you know, where every house is just has like the
The
same
same.
brick, like 3, 4 patterns of brick that you can choose from, and
Yeah.
I don't know,
Just
like I
alternate.
like architecture and stuff a lot. So I like
Yeah.
neighborhoods where people like those older neighborhoods where people like tear down the whole thing or they remodel it completely. They get to
Yeah.
do whatever sort of creative ideas they have
Yeah, there's some cool
to,
houses in your
make their house a
neighborhood.
home.
They're definitely doing that
There
in your
is
neighborhood.
we're like the poor ones in our neighborhood. Like there are like, $1 million homes. Like of course they're like in much better lots and stuff. And like we're like in the basic side. But even then like it's kind of pricey. Like I'm really happy and lucky that we got our house when we did because our property value jumped up so high after COVID and stuff.
Really? Oh shit.
Yeah,
I wonder what it's
it
gonna be
did,
like
so.
when we sell our house here and move to Texas. Man, I can't wait for the day.
You'll still get something nice.
Yeah. Actually, I was
I mean,
just talking to
if you
Tim.
have a house in California, you can still get something great here, you know?
True. Like for the value that we have it here in California. Yeah.
You have options, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, but I was talking to Tiff just now too, and before we started this, and she was like, she's like working on like a little piece that she wants to like use to decorate the, like the current theme right now is spring, and so like she's got this, like she's putting flowers everywhere, and she's making this little flower piece, and she was like, yeah, I was looking at our house, and it's gonna be really sad when we move out. This is the first time we've lived somewhere where we like actually did stuff to it, because like all the other homes were rentals, rented a townhouse, different apartments. We had a duplex before, and knowing that it wasn't ours, we barely put anything up. We barely put anything up, just a few holes for just a few
you don't want to
pictures,
do anything to it because it's like,
because you have to patch it
like,
up,
put some holes in your walls. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, I'm about to move out of here. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah. So you're always having 1 foot out already when you're renting. But since we bought this place, we're kind of like, oh yeah, put some holes here, knock that down. She's like very, like.
And it's like, hey, this might actually raise the
just-
value of the house.
Yeah, exactly. And so having done so much to it over the years, it's like, man, the idea of moving
Yeah, like you
out
guys have
eventually,
like wallpaper and stuff. Like,
yeah.
like that stuff might help sell your house. Someone might see it and be like, oh, this house has some character to it or
True.
something.
True. Yeah, we customed our backyard. So it's like there's a lot of
your guys' little backyard is nice.
Yeah, a lot of cool little custom things that we're gonna miss. So we'll see when that day
Hey,
comes.
if you're moving into a bigger house, I mean, that's something else to look forward to.
Yeah, that's true. Just having more space. I mean, I'm not even trying to get into a big house. I'm just trying to get into a house that's more spacious.
Bigger house.
Yeah, bigger house.
Yeah.
And I mean, but it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, even if it was the same square footage, I feel like there's a house out there that just makes use of the square footage better than the one we have. Like, I feel like the one we have just feels so cramped. I want something just to maximize the space as much as possible.
I mean,
Actually, our
1,600 square feet.
1,600 square
Right?
feet.
Is that
I
how
think
big it
our
is?
townhouse,
16 something.
before we lived here, we lived in this one, was essentially the same size, but it still made use of the space much better somehow.
Yeah, you're right.
It's essentially the same layout. I think it's a little bit bigger, perhaps, because like the living room is way.
We
bigger.
had a bigger living room.
Yeah,
The
real
living room was really
actually.
nice in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh, that's
Actually missed
interesting.
that
Yeah,
spot.
what did they give up in your new house or your house now to make
I have no idea. Because
feel
the upstairs
smaller?
is essentially the same size. The upstairs literally is the same size.
Well, you didn't have a
I don't know
like
why-
a little den thing, but that's not that big though, so it's not like that really made a difference.
True. Actually, in fact, with that said, I think the upstairs is bigger than our old place. But then our downstairs is so small compared to the old place. So I don't. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how that spacing works out.
Is there anything you miss about Texas?
Nah, not really. I don't know. I feel like at this point, you could like just put me anywhere in the world, and I'm like, nah, okay, cool, got it. You know, I think really, I get it's you guys, family. I think just knowing that you guys are in Texas, I think that's what I think.
Yeah, I think
ultimately
that's
wanting
always
to draw me
one of the-
back home.
that's like one of the biggest drivers for people like staying in a place or moving to a place is family.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we actually didn't talk about we started this episode with wanting to talk more about the shooter, but then we didn't even talk about it because we even brushed up on the Nashville one, which didn't even enter my radar when it happened. I didn't know it happened.
Yeah,
and,
me neither. I didn't know about it either. I wasn't really looking at the news at the time. But this
Yeah.
one like happening so close locally is like you can't
not hear
like,
about
not
it.
see
Yeah.
it, you know.
You know what's so strange too? It was on my birthday. It happened on my birthday, and I was just like, yeah, I was just like scrolling on my phone because it was my birthday, I guess. I don't know. And it just popped up, and I was like, whoa, shooting, crazy. But yeah, I made the mistake of having looked at too graphic of imagery and videos, and yeah, that stuff haunts
There's some pretty
you.
graphic stuff on there on the internet
Yeah.
over the shooting. Like I usually don't mind looking at graphic stuff like that on the internet, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess it being so close to home, it's like holy crap! Like it just feels more real, you know.
Yeah, it haunts you a little bit more.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know I will go back to that mall one day eventually, you know.
If
And
it
I probably will
opens.
stand in front of that. That mall's not gonna close down. I don't know. I don't want to go anywhere near it right now. You know, I want everything to die down before I
Bad
even
energy.
go near there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just like I don't know. It's like, what am I really doing there? Like, am I really shopping there, or am I like, you know, going there because something crazy happened there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
It's gonna be too fresh, is what I mean. You know, it's just like
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
yeah, yeah.
distracted. You know, but
well,
I do want to
work
shop
at a
there
place,
again because
yeah. Well, I was gonna say you work at a place where you have shootings all the time. Like you have shootings in front of the bar, and you've had shootings in the parking lot behind the bar.
I think it's different when it's like a mass shooting, though. You know,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
the shootings that happen in Deep Ellum are typically like personal shootings or like some sort of kind of. I don't know if they're gang related or something, but it's definitely like it's definitely like somebody going after a specific person because of something.
Yeah,
You know, it's not like some random guy just pulls up
crime of passion or whatever.
crime of
right?
passion. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're just
Yeah, and I
angry.
think those hold different weights than just like a random mass shooting where a shooter goes
There's no
after
motive.
innocent. Yeah.
Yeah.
No motive that's personal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I was reading this thing about the motive, potential motive is that he was racist, right? And I'm like, well, he killed, and then they're like, oh, he killed four out of the 8 people that died. They were Asian, and so clearly he was racist. But I'm like, well, the other 4 people he killed were Hispanic, and he's Hispanic.
I think
So-
like two.
Actually, I think there's one white.
There was like one white guy.
Yeah, I think the security.
He was
guard
like the
was white
security guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Then two of them were Hispanic, and what's crazy is
And
I saw like
two
an
little
article
girls.
about the police. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. But yeah, like the police went to his house, and his parents needed translators to talk to the police. So, I don't know. I just don't really believe he's a white supremacist kind of guy. And he had like tattoos all over him. He just didn't look like a white supremacist. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm profiling him, but he had like the Dallas Triple D tattoo on his hand. And
yeah, I don't think a white supremacist.
Usually white supremacists don't have that kind of Yeah.
But they're not going to rep the city of Dallas like that. It'd be something
no,
more
they
like
don't. Yeah.
a swastika, maybe. Or
well, they were trying to. So out of that profile that they discovered of his that said he was a white supremacist or whatever, they had a picture of his or of somebody. I don't know who it was, but they had like a tattoo of a swastika on their chest and stuff. I don't know. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
but I just feel like they're creating a story. I don't think so.
Yeah,
they don't show his face. It cuts off.
And they say there's like all these patches that are right wing and all. I'm like, there's no proof. I mean, they're just saying it. It's
well, they were trying to say that the tattoo on his hand was some sort of like either MS-13 tattoo or Tango Blast or some like gang tattoo, and then everyone that's from Dallas is like, dude, that's a freaking Dallas logo Triple D tattoo. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny, actually.
It's also like hilarious because like, who puts that on their hand? It's like the most random tattoo to ever put on yourself, much less like your hand.
I don't know. People have weird tattoos on places all the time nowadays.
Yeah, that's true.
But
that's
true. Yeah, I see that Triple D tattoo so much. That or like
really? That's a thing?
Texas. Yeah. People for some reason just love repping. Well, I guess people love repping their city all the time. Like people in LA always have like that LA tattoo.
Oh, I see.
Well, because
I guess I never thought about repping Dallas like that because like LA whatever. It's like, well, the slang vernacular for Dallas is Big D. And I'm just like, I'm not putting big dick on my, who would ever want that on them? You know,
people call it Triple D or something like that.
Triple dicks.
I think that's what. I think people call it Triple D. I don't know. I don't really rep Dallas like that myself.
What is Triple D? What does that even mean? Dallas Triple D.
Here I got
Trinity River, Trinity Triple. I don't know.
There's an article that says why Dallas called Triple D. What the heck? They don't even have the grammar right. Why Dallas called Triple D, DDD. Did you ever wonder where Dallas got the famed Triple D nickname? Sure, the city is known for a few other nicknames, but why is Dallas called Triple D in particular? DDD is all tied to the city's locals and their stories. It's funny how a simple design in the city's logo gave birth to the nickname. And with the influence of the hip-hop community, the nickname became a symbol of the city they proudly represent. That makes sense. The local rappers here started calling it Triple D. And I think it just comes from that logo. Yeah, it all started with the logo. The City of Dallas logo celebrated its 50th anniversary last August.
So the graphic designer
been around for 50 years.
The graphic designer took the Sega font and wrote a D with it, and then rappers interpret that as Triple D. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
Crazy.
Yes. And then the Triple D movie. I didn't even know this existed. The 2014 gangster movie titled The Triple D helped boost the identity of the Triple D nickname, which stands for Dirty Dirty Dallas. Because the South, they always call it like the Dirty South.
Yeah.
So I guess, I don't know.
Dirty Dirty Dallas.
Yeah, I'm not a very Southern hip hop guy.
Yeah, me neither.
And then there's a bunch of gangs and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's where it comes from.
Fair enough.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, I think that's it for this week.
Yeah.
Or for this episode.
Yeah, well, we ended up talking more about where we're from,
Dallas,
instead of
yeah. But yeah, hopefully we'll get back on track. Right? Are we getting back on track every week?
I think so. Yeah. Okay. I've also changed my setup. The other room that I was shooting in before, we're turning it to like a little home gym.
Yeah.
So now I'm in my office space. I have my little paper on the wall up there. Had to move my lights here. It does not look as cool.
Yeah, you got to have that clock.
It'll do.
That clock was it made it.
I moved that clock back to Fort Worth.
Oh, it was it was from the Fort Worth house?
Yeah, it was actually from there. The people who lived there, they left it there. The clock doesn't even work. I just had it for decoration, and now I moved it back. I moved it back because it's like, well, because we would watch all these like home flipping shows. And there's this one called Good Bones where they're like in Indiana, but they take all these old houses, they flip them. And like the mom on the show, she's always like, "Oh, I like to like keep a piece of the history of the house." They like bring something back to life.
Oh yeah,
and put it as like decoration for the house. So that was my thing for the Fort Worth house. It's like, oh, you know what? Like, there's really no use for it here because I kind of need more space here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's just move this clock back. Put it as decoration. It's like part of the history of that house,
Gotcha.
So
works. All right. Well, guess we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, we'll try to have more to talk about. I don't know. We kind of just put this show together on a whim. We're like, you know what? We need to do something soon, and we're also working on doing some like video essays.
Oh yeah, I'm actually excited about that. Yeah, I'm like my brain is fried because like just dealing with Luca all day, like every day, all day, every day, it's nonstop, and he just gets more and more advanced with how he's gonna push your buttons because that's just what kids do. So I'm like, my brain is fried. But yes, I do want to say before we get off of this episode is that we have plans to not only do podcasts on this channel, but to create video essays. And the type of videos we would want to make is basically, well, the idea is growing up, the public school system never really teaches like Asian American history, Asian American studies. Like there's just zero Asian American awareness in the public school system, which is fine. Like they only have so much time.
Yeah, we're like 4% of the population. So I don't expect to have that much, that many lessons about our history in the US.
Yeah, so I'm not complaining, but if there's change and there's more focus on Asian American studies in the public school system these days or moving forward, even better. But just saying, we never got it, and I kind of want to spend some time, learning. And actually, I've learned a lot over the years too, just on my own. And I know my brother's been reading a lot too, and so I kind of want to turn this YouTube channel into like a place for Asian American studies too, in the sense of like kind of like tracing the roots to Asian America. Because I feel like growing up, I didn't really have there was no Asian American identity. And it's only maybe in the past couple of years that we started really kind of getting this Asian American identity, which then brings to mind, where does it come from? Like, what is the building blocks to where we are now? And so, I want to make videos that kind of detail, the journey here to 2023 and so forth.
Yep. And where we'll go after this. But, it'll be fun. That's something that we are starting to work on.
Yeah, the first episode we're doing is it's on yellow peril. So, and if you don't know what the term yellow peril means, look it up.